Welcome back students. In the previous lecture we have started with the uniform plane waves, and for understanding wave equation we were going through the basics of the phasor and how these phasors are represented in the complex number we were going through, and we came to the conclusion that any equation of current or voltage in terms of sine and cos can be represented as either real part or imaginary part of certain expression. So we'll repeat with the last point which we have discussed. So let's say I have an equation of the current I dash of t which is given as I0 sine of omega t plus theta, and I need to represent it as a real part or imaginary part. How I can represent? Since it is a sine term, I can represent it in the imaginary part, so it will become imaginary part of, so Im of I0 e raised to j theta into e raised to j omega t. It's perfectly okay. And if I want to still represent this imaginary part in the real part, you already know that there is a 90-degree phase shift between real part and imaginary part. Just go back to the first diagram, you can see there is a 90-degree angle between x-axis and y-axis. So real part and imaginary part are 90-degree phase shifted, and if I want to convert this imaginary into real, I need to come into the clockwise direction. And you know, whenever the phase is taken in clockwise direction, you will take it in the negative direction. Usually these phasors are going in the counterclockwise direction. So that's why I can represent this I dash of t as I0 sine of omega t plus theta as also real part of I0 e raised to j theta e raised to j omega t. Not only that, you need to multiply it by e raised to minus j 90 or e raised to j minus j pi by 2. So if there is a pi by 2 difference, we can say that sine is converted into cos and cos is converted into sine, and you can represent it in the any form that you wish to convert. Okay, so these are some of the things that you should know. So the complex term, now see, everywhere there is one term which is coming, I0 e raised to j theta. It may be real part or imaginary part, or I0 e raised to j theta. In this, even in this cos form also, it has come as I0 e raised to j theta. So can we replace it with a certain term, so that there won't be a question of once again writing those terms? So let's see how we can write this. So the complex term I0 e raised to j theta, which results from dropping the time factor e raised to j omega t in I of t, is called phasor current. Now see, out of this I0 e raised to j omega t, e raised to j omega t, e raised to j theta into e raised to j omega t, if we just drop e raised to j omega t for a time being, the part left is I0 e raised to j theta. This part we can call it as a phasor current, which is denoted by I with a suffix s, is. That is, is is equal to I0 e raised to j theta. Can I write like that? Yes, I have just replaced I0 e raised to j theta with a is, or I0 at an angle of theta, where subscript s denotes phasor form of I of t. Now let's see. I of t is equal to I0 cos of omega t plus theta. This is once again expression in front of you, which you have represented it as a real form of I0. See, I will just try to write it here. I have represented it with a real form, a real part of I0 e raised to j theta into e raised to j omega t. Okay, into e raised to j omega t. So this is the thing which we have replaced. Now what I am going to do, I am just going to replace this I0 e raised to j theta term by is. So if I replace this entire term by is, I can represent it as real part of is e raised to j omega t, equation number 8. And that's the thing which we want to do. You want to replace this theta. Theta may be a function of time and space. We already discussed about that. So I of t, which equation is I0 e raised to I0 cos of omega t plus theta, can be represented as a real part of is e raised to j omega t. That's it. In general, phasor could be a scalar or a vector. If a vector a x comma y comma z comma t is a time harmonic field, in the phasor form can be represented as c. The fields, vector fields, can be either space dependent or time dependent or both. So if they are space dependent only, we call them as static, electrostatic or magnetostatic. If they are only time dependent, we call them as a dynamic field. But if they are both, then we call them as a wave. So wave is a function of space as well as time. Try to understand this difference: electrostatic, magnetostatic, time varying fields, and wave. What is the difference between them? So the time harmonic field and the phasor form, if I want to represent this vector a bar, how I can represent? So the form of a as as x comma y comma z, the two quantities are related as, what is that? A is equal to real part of as e raised to j omega t, where a stands for, you already know, this is a0 e raised to j theta. Let's say one more example to understand, and this is a final wave equation. We have not yet derived a wave equation, but just consider this as a simple equation. If a bar is given as a0 cos of omega t minus beta x into ay bar, so this is a wave equation. We can write a bar as, how I can write this a bar as, I can write this a bar as, this is cos, so real part of a0 remain as it is, e raised to minus omega t minus theta, or omega t plus theta was there in the earlier case. Instead of theta, I am now having minus beta x. So a0 e raised to minus j beta x ay bar into e raised to j omega t. Any doubt in this? Let's see. If I want to represent this cos of omega t minus beta x into the phasor form, I have represented it with the real part of a0, since cos, therefore real part, a0 magnitude as it is. So cos, I can represent this as e raised to j omega t, e raised to minus j beta x. But I need to exclude everything except e raised to j omega t, and except everything, what is left? It is a0 e raised to minus j beta x, and this term I am going to call this as as. Okay, and as is equal to a0 e raised to minus j beta x, even this ay bar also. So if I take a derivative of this, now try to understand one thing in detail, that as is nothing but the combination or multiplication of all the things except the e raised to j omega t term. So a0 e raised to minus j beta x ay bar, this combined term forms as. And taking derivatives of this equation number 9, if I want to take this equation 9 and I will take a derivative dA by dt, dA by dt is equal to as j omega into e raised to j omega t. Why? Because derivative of e raised to j omega t is e raised to j omega t into j omega. So I have just taken the derivative, and what conclusion I come to? I come to the conclusion that dA by dt is equal to j omega as e raised to j omega t. Similarly, if I take a integration of equation number 9, let's say I want to take an integration of this equation number 9. So integration of a bar with respect to t. If I take this a bar with respect to t, I will come to the conclusion that e raised to j omega t divided by j omega. Okay, so the basic difference between a of x y z t and as of x y z is that former is time dependent and latter is time invariant and usually complex. So if I am observing this as term, okay, as term which has dropped this t factor, so former is time dependent because we have this time factor here, and latter is time invariant and usually complex because there is no dependency on the time for this particular as term. So what I understood from this, so if I take a phasor and if I take a derivative, okay, if I take a derivative of this vector a bar, I need to multiply by j omega, and if I take integration of this particular vector field, then I need to divide by j omega. That's it. So these are the two basic things that you need to understand. First of all, we have started with a complex number, how to represent a phasor notation, then we have understood real part and imaginary part of any vector field. Once that is clear, we have started doing certain mathematical operations on the vector field a bar, as. Then we have taken a derivative of a, then we got this as, when I take a derivative, I need to multiply that a bar term or as term by j omega, and if I take a integration, I need to divide by j omega. So your basics of Maxwell's equation is clear, and let's apply those things which we have studied in the Maxwell's equation and how this Maxwell's equation will look like. Just take a look at this, and in the next video we'll talk about this Maxwell's equation in detail, where these vector fields are represented by ds, then rho v is with a subscript yes. Once again, divergence means closed surface, that ds dot ds equal to rho vs dv, and all these things we are going to discuss in the next chapter, in the next lecture onwards. So try to understand those four Maxwell's equations which you already studied as a part of unit number 4. The same Maxwell's equation, if I want to represent in the phasor notation, why one need to represent them in the phasor notation? Because it's very easier to operate with the phasor notation because there is no time dependency. We have just seen this in the previous slide, that when we are talking about phasor, there is no time dependency, but whenever I am talking about electrodynamic field, time comes into the picture and we need to consider the time, and we cannot ignore this time dependency. Okay, so just go through this particular slide, particular video once again, and next video I am coming across, it will be a somewhat lengthy video of 15 to 20 minutes where those Maxwell's equations are explained to you in detail. Just go through it, try to understand, and if you have certain doubts, you can ask to me during our live sessions. So till then, thank you very much and happy learning.